quick, I'm gonna try and keep this video fast. I'm gonna, help a lot of people with certain nutrition things that most people don't talk about. I wish someone would have told me about it, and that's the only reason why I'm sharing it. Is nobody talks about it, and it sucks because when you have these problems, and everyone just gives you the runaround of what it could be, and especially for people that are starting, when you follow certain meals, certain routines, certain stuff like that, when you want these these results, and they're telling you that you eat this at this time, this many times a day, you will look like this, and then you have all these problems. That is the most devastating thing. But so first off, IBS. Alright, so common sense, when you start dieting, the absolute first thing that comes to mind is, add fruits and vegetables in there. And IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, which is basically, foods that are high in sodium, high in fat, and high in acidic properties where they hurt your stomach, and it causes bloating, it causes, gas buildup, and it causes cramping. I ran into this. Nobody could help me. It took forever for me to Google around and find an actual term to diagnose it and to follow a food map. And as soon as I did, it was like a world of difference. But if anybody that is getting any symptoms of this, you definitely need to Google this. It's real easy. You just go to Google IBS diets or FOD map, and it'll give you a whole list of all the foods you can eat without triggering this. And I don't know if everyone can have it, but I'm sure a majority of people can, because I've seen a lot of comments, someone saying, hey, this is causing this kind of problems, I don't know why it's doing it, can anyone help? And nobody knows. They just say, hey, no, it's something else, or it's genetic, or whatever. But basically, this is foods high in sodium, high in fat, high in acid that is hurting your stomachs, making you bloat. So basically, you're going to want to avoid garlic and onions as much as possible. There's a lot of fruits. Like my problem was apricots, mangoes, pears, pineapple. If you eat the fruit, you can taste, if it's sweet or if it's sugary or if it's really acidic. And my problem was the dried fruits. I used to buy tons of those because I was like, okay, I'm adding fruit in. They taste great, and it's cheap, and it's very accessible. It's easy to, just whip out whenever and eat. And it was apricots, mangoes, and the dried pineapples and stuff like that. And it was just tearing me up in the inside. It would take a couple of days, but once it started, it was so hard to stop because, you had to basically change everything you're eating, up your water, and almost not eat because it was too painful. It was crippling. If I could describe it, IBS feels like pregnancy for men. No joke. It's it'll make people cry. It's just crippling pain. Cramping is insane. So basically what you're gonna want to do, Google IBS diets or FOD maps, and it'll give you a complete outline of every food source out there that could trigger it, and everything possible that's gonna avoid it. So you just scroll through. It shows drinks. You're gonna want to drop literally all dairy foods, and that's gonna hurt a lot of feelings. But my problem was the Greek yogurt, and I had ice cream quite a bit, but I was having fat free, or the Arctic Zero. There was supposed to be no dairy in it, and it was still tearing me up, and I could not figure out why. But definitely the Greek yogurt, I was getting bad acid reflux, and I was bloating so bad. If you go out and you get the I don't remember the brand, but it's the 000. If you have any more than the recommended dose within one day, you'll be in bed for a couple hours with cramping. It's that bad. And it's going to give you the breakdown of everything that you do want for a good source that's going to avoid the IBS. And so you're just going to want to scroll through, and it's a huge variety. So pick anything off the anti-inflammatory list to eat, which there's a huge selection, so there shouldn't be any problems. I mean, and a lot of stuff does taste good, so it's going to be familiar. It's going to be easy to find at the stores. It's just if someone gave people the information to find this stuff rather than just telling them just eat healthier. Well, there's actually a good side and a bad side to eating healthy, so you have to find the stuff that's going to agree with your body. Personally, out of everything, like fruits and vegetables, that's all right. But honestly, the grains are what help me the best. They help me feel the fullest. They're gonna help. Like I get no acid reflux, no discomfort, no bloating, no cramping, no nothing. And it's basically I don't know if it's in here. I didn't really look through any of this. I just searched the term. But quinoa, rice, chickpeas, split peas, lentils, stuff like that. Like that is my bread and butter for eating, just because I can eat as much as that as I want and I never have any problems. And then as for it's going to tell you stay away from carbonated drinks, alcohol, coffee, a lot of the real sugary or higher acidic content. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Try and avoid whey protein, even though, I mean, everything out there says, eat and drink as much as that as possible. Turns out it's a byproduct, and it's not the best quality. And plus they're spiking it with amino acids and all kinds of junk. So honestly, eat real food. Don't worry about supplements. Don't worry about any of it. Eat real food, whole foods, and you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to look a lot better. And then it's going to show, trust me, just Google it, scroll through, see what you like, see what's on the list, and, that's what's going to be the best for you. And for the other term is GERDs. And GERDs is, gastroesophageal reflux disease. And I had this lasted 9 days. It sucked. Basically, like when your sodium's high and when you're eating a lot of foods with acid, which is very similar to the other one, when you get acid reflux, and it's very often, it's very frequent, it starts to develop like a sort of like a scar tissue in your esophagus, and after a while, I don't know if it like if there's a fissure or what it is, but like it just starts to hurt like uncontrollably, and where the only thing that feels good is to either not eat or drink like extremely cold like water. That's the only thing that would help me feel good. But it was like I couldn't swallow food, and if I did, it would like it hurt really bad in my throat, and it hurt really bad in my upper back. It was like a piercing pain. And it wasn't until 5 days went by, and I was like, I gotta go to the doctors. And I told them about it, and they're like, okay, so what's your diet like? And I was like, well, I was explaining stuff, and they're like, you have to absolutely drop the acid in your food and the the fats and the sodium, because you're getting the acid reflux is causing scar tissue in your esophagus, and that's where the pain's coming from. And as soon as I dropped that, it was like 5, 6. So it took like 3 or 4 days after I went to the doctors, but I did everything he said. I upped my water intake, and I dropped all the fat and salty foods, and it was like magic. I felt like I just took a life shower. It was great. So basically what you're going to want to do is also, it's pretty self-explanatory on what has a lot of salt. You can read labels. But if you do need help, coffee, chocolate, onions, peppermint, carbonation like pop, high citrus or tomato products, like multiple kinds of pastas. Take it easy on the spaghetti and the, lasagna. Alcohol, drop your alcohol content to a minimum. And one of the craziest things I heard, they say like chicken, eggs, and stuff like that is going to be the absolute best thing to build muscle. Eggs have literally, one single egg has like 3 days worth of your maximum requirement of sodium. And people are eating, like, I know people that would eat like anywhere between 10 to 15, sometimes even 20 eggs a day, and then they wonder why they're retaining so much water and they have all these problems. It's because like the fat and the salt content in the eggs are insanely high, and you're gonna want to drop. Most meats are gonna be high in saturated fats and cholesterol. Same with eggs. Stick to the whole foods. My suggestion is starchy foods. That's going to be, the best. Anyone that's dealing with these problems specifically is going to want to, switch to these for the best benefit for, daily comfort. But that's just about it. There's, like I said, IBS and GERD. Those are the terms you're going to want to search on Google if you're having any discomfort at all, or if you're looking to lose weight and still feel comfortable and be able to eat more, without being guilty and gaining weight. And for let's see, I mean, this kind of unrelated. I'm more focused about diet than I am with training ever. But if you are losing weight, and a lot of people don't want to diet because they're going to lose size or strength, just stick to the compound movements. I know a lot of people, and even there's a lot of like the gurus out there, or like the the fitness community, where they say switch to push-pull legs, or do a bunch of crazy splits and add more reps, more sets. Honestly, don't. I personally recommend like a 2 to 3 times a week of a full body workout. And not only that, but stick to the compound movements, and benching, rows, deadlifts, stuff like that. The squats, that's going to keep your strength up, and it's going to retain the muscle. So don't change your training at all when you're dieting. You might lose a little bit of strength, but you got to just keep pushing and keep the same movements, and just try and add like an extra rep or a little bit of weight every now and then, just to try and boost it back up. But when you're dieting, increasing strength and size should not be your biggest goal. You want to hold your strength and size, but you want to drop your body fat. So yep, that's Google is your best friend, and don't listen to the magazines. That's 100% sure.